Hi, welcome to Free Spirit and welcome to a special deck collection review of all the tarot decks. The question was asked to me, what decks do I personally reach for when I'm doing personal readings for myself? Like, what decks do I reach for when I'm doing a personal reading myself? What do I consistently use? So, you know, from my channel with all my close-up reviews and my deck collection reviews, I have tons and tons of tarot decks and oracle decks, but the question was, you know, what do I consistently use? What do I first grab when I'm doing a reading for myself? So I definitely had like a top 5, and then I just wanted to show you different versions that you could get, but my top 5 was actually very easy of what I naturally gravitate to. So I'll put it all in the description box, but the number one, and I'll show you a couple of cards from each deck, but it was the Illuminated 2 BBD deck that I got. Is so special. This is my personal deck that I consistently use. I would say number one, because this was a complete treat. No deck is the same. It's personally made for you. And I'll show you the deck of that. Number 2 quickly came out and made it to number 2, the Angel's Tarot, which I just did a close-up review. It's a new Debray deck. They actually made it possible for those on the channel to get 20% off. So I'll copy and paste that in the description box below so you can, if you're interested. But you order directly through them. It's through Siren Imports, Debray decks. This quickly made it into my new personal deck that I use consistently. Number 3, and believe me, I'll show you all the cards, but 3 Archangel Power Tarot cards. I mean, this is old deck, but this I connected to right away. I love the angelic images on each and every card. Same with this deck. When you have angels on each and every card, that is so my thing. This is with archangels going for each card. It's color coded. Whatever level you're at, you can use it. I love connecting with angels and archangels, especially with tarot. And I use this a lot on my channel as well because people can follow along. Messages are right on the cards. I use this deck a lot for a lot of different reasons. So that was my top 3. The next one is Golden Universal Tarot. This has gold foil running through the Universal Tarot, which, my gosh, I mean, that turned me on to foil on all decks, and so I quickly got I have a whole gold foil deck collection on my channel. I love decks with gold foil. So gold foil Universal. But when it came, this is like a side thing. If you love Universal Tarot, Universal Weight, you can't go wrong with the crisp lines, imagery, Universal Weight. You have the premium version Universal Tarot, which comes in this amazing box, which I'll show you, but the premium version of Universal Tarot, and then the professional, which is a huge Mongo size with, I mean, when I got that, I just love it. I love it for teaching purposes. When you're teaching cards, the crisp line. I am a complete lover of Universal Tarot. Number 5, so this was all of 4 because Golden Universal was my number 4, but then I was urged to show you the different versions and sizes you can get, and I'll go into depth. Number 5 was the Akashic Tarot, which this stands alone. I can't say enough about this deck. It is nothing short than amazing. Tapping into the Akashic Records, I use this consistently also. There's nothing else like it. Tapping into the Akashic Records, she goes into great detail in the book, describing each card. You get pulled in and it gives you the Akashic force that's with you. It is so on target, and it's nothing else on the market. It's not a tarot deck. It is tapping into the Akashic Records, so it stands alone. So this would be my number 5. So let me go into each one. I just wanted to give an overview, and you can skip around on the video to what you're really interested if you are. But the first one was the, oh my gosh, I mean, Illuminated 2 BBD with glitter. So this costs a lot, but you are getting, first of all, she gives you, I'll give you her personal website, Carol Herzer. So you go on there, and this was the Illuminated 2 BBD. I know I've shown this on the channel before. It comes like this. They're different. The back is glitter, okay? Everything is handmade practically. No deck is the same. So this is a deck that is personally made for you. She has all variations on her channels, on her website. So you can get, I mean, there's a gazillion, all price points, all sizes, all themes, all, you know, if you like certain color tones with the Rider-Waite Smith. So she recolors and puts glitter on some of them. depending on your preferences or how much you want to spend or the size, you can really go to town on her website. So when I decided to treat myself, and it was a long time in the making, I said, why not get the one that I've been pining for, the ultimate BBD. It was no borders, nothing here, nothing, you know, clean, and with glitter. So BBD Illuminated 2 with glitter. So I went all out. So when this has been my personal deck. So when asked the question, what do I reach for my own personal readings? This is my personal deck. This is me. This is my deck, like what I want to do. So this has glitter on the back sides of each one, and the colors on here for this particular deck, and see the glitter all throughout. So when I got this was just became my personal deck. So when I do a personal reading for myself, this is the deck that I reach for. And when I received this, it felt like it was all synchronized, divine timing, how I got this deck. It just came at the right time, everything. It was just magical how it came into my life from beginning to end. So when I got this was my personal deck. Literally became my personal deck. So when I want to do a reading for myself, this quickly became, this was my deck. So when asked, you know, what do I reach for when I'm doing my own personal readings, not on the channel, not for anyone else, yeah, this became my personal deck. Yeah, I love, and you can, I'll put her website down, you purchase directly through her, and she has, like I said, different styles, I mean, this is beautiful what she does on each of these cards. A lot of work goes into this, and what I love about it, quite honestly, is that no other person, even if you ordered this deck, it is not exactly the same. So it really is a personalized deck. You know, you hear about the old times when they had decks personally made for you. This really is a personally made deck. No deck will be exactly the same. So there's something priceless about that. The color is just amazing. The extra glitter was just amazing. It was just like a dream come true. It was, I just found this absolutely stunning in every which way. I thought it brought the deck, the colors, and the card to a new life. So the minute I got this, this is how I felt. And it quickly became my go-to. So this is what I use for personal readings. And you can see, like, I've really worn it. It's still in good shape, but it's easy to shuffle. They're a little softer than a normal deck because these are natural, you know, I'm not quite sure how she makes them, but they're good cards, but a little softer to shuffle, and it's exquisite. So it became my personal deck to use, and it will come in this sleeve with a card that she picks for you. This was such a treat. So when I got this became, when I do a personal reading for myself, that's what I call this is my deck. So this is my, when asked the question, what deck do I use for my own readings? This is my personal deck. Number 2 quickly became this. This just came out. This is the one that you can order directly through Debray, and I'll give you that discount code if you want to get it. The Angel's Tarot. This quickly became my favorite, and I'll tell you why. It has blue and gold foil running throughout, just like my obsession with the Golden Universal. But this has blue foil and gold foil and angels on every card. It's very reminiscent of Renaissance art. It has the key to the tarot in here. Little key to the tarot, so you know, depending on your level, you can get really good meanings in here. Colored pictures. This was so exquisite. The color in this deck, the blue, okay, this quickly became, and this is all gold foil all around. I've shown this on the channel a couple of times now because I'm just blown away with the beauty of it. The colors, the blue in here and the color pop. And also the frame here, it's gold, shimmer, and then it also goes to, let me get to a blue one. This is now blue foil, see around. And on the majors, look at that. But everybody has, in the pictures, angel wings everywhere. The colors are just amazing to me. So this quickly became my number 2 that I'm doing my own readings with. This has become just immediately, the minute I got it, I was like, okay, this is my deck. You know, when you just get a deck like that you just, it's your new personal deck. So when I'm doing a reading for myself, yeah, I'm definitely I just thought the foil, you see how it's now blue foil, gold foil, and everybody has wings, 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 wings. And the colors are just amazing. I mean, I'm already transported. So yeah, this is the Angel's Tarot, and the minute I got it, look at that. Is that gorgeous? Oh my gosh, and that's one of my favorite cards in the deck, and I'm like, oh, I hear. Like, oh, I mean, the way that this deck affected me, I just thought it was beautiful. It was like, sometimes I've bought decks that I wished, look at this High Priestess, I wished it was like this and it wasn't, and then this was just beyond my expectations. Like, this was my deck, okay? So when asked, you know, what am I doing for personal, my personal, yeah, this is one of my new faves that I'm doing my own, and the backs are exquisite. This is gold foil and angel wings here. Yeah, look at that. So, I mean, that's like my number 2 if I'm doing a reading for myself. These are my personal decks. Like, I'm not using these for anyone. These two. So, the Illuminated BBD, these two are like mine. Ooh, gosh, now I'm knocking them over. So the one that I do share on the channel a lot, and I also use a lot, Archangel Power Tower. So people are very familiar with this, like the Angel Tower, Archangel Power Tower cards are here. These were re-released. I think there was, look at how worn they are, but I will not get a new deck because this has like, see how worn these are? These were gold gilding. I don't know if it comes with gilding anymore, but yeah, it's even, I've worn this to a T. And what's great is it doesn't matter what your level of tarot is. There's black and white pictures in here, great descriptions. It's all linked to the archangels. So whatever level you're at, you can use it. It's great. I love sensitive. It's sensitive, angelic. First of all, I loved the backs of the cards. The minute I got these years ago, I love the backs of the cards. Instantly, I love, love, love. They were gold gilding. You can barely see the gold gilding now. Again, I don't know if they're releasing with gold gilding anymore. But see, major arcanas, it's very easy. Everything's so angelic and soft, which I like, especially for myself and also doing readings for other people. It's all about angels, archangels, the messages right here so they can even follow along, which I really like too. I instantly resonated with these cards and the messages, and I love how everything's depicted. And so for me, when I'm picking a deck, the imagery has to make sense to me. I work on, like, what I've noticed is when I'm doing a reading, I'm relaxing and being receptive, and I don't want to be reactionary to a card. So if the imagery is making me jolty or reactionary, it pulls me out of where I want to be in my brain for a reading. So I find like this is very relaxing and soothing, and I'm receptive, and that's what I feel. That's on the cover of the deck. But again, like, this is major arcana, and you can follow along, and if you're just learning, the message is right here. So this is like one of those decks. This is along the lines of the Angel Tarot, the Fairy Tarot, all the decks by Radley Valentine. I love it for that wherever you're at, you can do a tarot reading. Very gentle images, and it's just as accurate as if you are doing a Rider-Waite-Smith. I can honestly say that after all my years of using, you know, both. Very accurate, and also what a great way to instantly use a tarot deck. You know, it's right here, so you can get started right away. And nobody has to be jolted by, I know people are scared of the Devil card, the Death card, they don't quite know what that means, and they just see the image and get flustered, and this is all very angelic and beautiful images. Plus it's color coded, so it makes it very easy for someone to also learn to, and I do love the images on all of them, and I immediately connected with this deck. So between that, it's easy to use, people can follow along, it doesn't matter what level you're at. I find all those decks, like I said, the Fairy Tarot, the Angel Tarot, this Archangel Power Tarot, very easy to use, and gentle, beautiful, angelic. Everything has angelic, beautiful images. I mean, look at how beautiful that's depicted. Release yourself, you know. It's very gentle, and it's more in the tone of how I do readings anyway. I don't really, you know, even if I got this card, I like to see it in a different tone. It doesn't have to be alarming. So I really love that. And yeah, I mean, I use this on the channel a lot. And I also use it in personal. I just love connecting with the archangels, first of all, and the angels and everything else. So this has been the Archangel Power Tarot. And you can't go wrong, again, with like any of the other ones. But for some reason, I even connected more with this one over the angels and the fairies. I love working with archangels. And I loved the imagery in here. It was cleaner and I could get it. I resonated completely with how the meanings were depicted. And I find that too when picking decks, I want it to make sense immediately. Like I want to connect. I don't want to get thrown out of my reading, you know, trying to decipher the card in any which way. So yeah, and I love the backs of the cards. So this is the Archangel Power Tarot cards that I use consistently. Definitely like number 3. It's not in the order of love, but you know, these are definitely my top ones that I reach for myself. Golden Universal, the minute I got it, I mean, I love the gold foil. On this deck, it's the Universal Tarot, but you get a little booklet, the typical booklet. But these are the backs of the cards, really pretty. And what I loved about it was the gold foil. So this started my obsession. And I love Universal, here's a little thing. But there's so much bling in here, the gold, you know, the gold foil. I love gold foil in anything. You know, you have Golden Art Nouveau, you have, you know, I did the gold, black and white tarot. You know, there's tons now with foil in it, but this really started my love of foil in the decks. And I love Universal Tarot for its clean imagery. So you could tell I got Universal, the premium Universal, the professional. I'll show you. Oh, I just shoved it all in, but see, this is all gold foil. So this is really, really, look at this ace. There's something about gold foil in the deck I just find, and see the pentacles here, they shimmer. In this deck, there's, I think it was on a couple of cards, the coin has a line through it. It's not from use, like this was on purpose. If there's little lines within the gold, it naturally comes that way. Look at this. Look at those pentacles. So there's something about this with the blue skies and the foil for everything. Yeah, I mean, I love the Golden Universal, and I love anything Universal. So when I asked about different versions of what I like, I mean, I definitely like Universal Tarot. Yeah, look at how beautiful, and blue skies all around. I love blue skies all around on my decks, and this has that gold foil. So you can't go wrong. This was a deck I use all the time for my personal readings, and yeah, I mean, I just think it's really pretty. I actually use this deck to do readings for other people too. These two I don't share. Ha ha ha. You know, you have some decks you'll do readings with other people, and we'll end it with this. But it's like all shimmer, shimmer, and I love that. I mean, if you love gold foil, I have a gold foil deck collection review of all my gold decks, like foil decks, called the Gold Foil Deck Collection, Bring on the Gold. And so, yeah, it started my obsession. But Golden Universal, I mean, nothing like a little bling in your decks, for sure. But then it led me on a tangent, like I was gonna go right to my next deck here, the Akashic Tarot number 5. But just as a kind of footnote, I did also wanna show you, when it comes to Rider-Waite-Smith decks, and I know people really love various, you know, they love the Centennial, they love their diehards for a certain kind. But Universal Weight, I did a review comparing the Universal with Radiant, because they're both really colorful decks. This is the backs of the cards. You can't go wrong with the Universal. This is recolored by Mary Hanson Roberts. I know I did a comparative, but here you have shimmer, shimmer. But everything here is so crisp and clean, and there's something, I prefer crisp and clean lines on my decks. So I have a lot of Rider-Waite-Smith decks, and I know the ones that people love, but for me personally, I don't like, and I know that it's great history, and I know people feel differently, but first I love blue sky background, and then the clean lines. A lot of my decks, they don't have clean lines, and for some reason I don't really enjoy using them. I like having them for the history sake of it, but I do prefer bright colors and clean lines, and it's the clean lines that I really go for, and the bright colors, and it's clean. And there was something about Universal many years ago, like, you know, I was overwhelmed by the choices of which decks, but I always loved Universal, like anything Universal. I loved the clean lines, and it still had crisp colors and imagery, and I just really tended to go in that direction when it came to my Rider-Waite-Smith deck. And believe me, everybody has their own personal preference. I'm just saying what my personal preference is, because I do have all the other you know, versions of Rider-Waite-Smith. I just prefer very clean lines for some reason. Very clean lines and bright colors, vibrant colors, crisp and clean. So with the Universal, so I had the Golden Universal, and then, you know, anything Universal I liked. And since then they've come out with, you can get a premium version of the Universal, and it comes in this beautiful, they call this the premium version of Universal. Gorgeous. I don't even think I've ever used this yet. It's like, you know, when you get a deck, it's so pretty that you don't want to ruin it. But I love, and this is the back, oops, you know, of course it comes with that book. How pretty. This is the backs, and I love the backs of these cards. I think I was saving these cards. Oops, I don't want to ruin them, but I love, and it has that stripe. I'm not a real lover of that stripe, but okay, but I love the imagery. There's something about crisp and clean, and I love the way things are depicted in all things Universal Tarot. So I just resonated with the imagery in the Universal Tarot. So I ended up getting the premium. Look at that. This is the premium version that comes in that box. So it's a better card stock, basically, is why you're buying this version. It's a better card stock on here, and it comes in that collector's box. But then what I really loved, in fact, I think I bought the professional version even before the premium. It was someone on the channel that said, I don't think you have the premium yet. Like I'm missing out on one version of the Universal I don't have. Let me get it. They let me know about it, so I bought it. But I had the professional version. So I love this. This is humongous. But if you're doing this, you know what this is good for when you're trying to show people. It's a very good teaching deck, to be honest with you. But also, why I was in heaven is because it took my Universal. It took the backs of the, I know people, it's the back of the regular Universal Tarot. Oh, I have the regular Universal Tarot too, but I won't include it. But look at the size of this deck. So it has the backs of the Universal, but then the front is using the Golden Universal, meaning it has the black borders and the stripe is not so apparent. It fades into the black. But look at the size and crispness of these images. So if you liked Universal Tarot, like these images, I mean, this is just, oh my gosh, the professional version. When I first got it, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I mean, to see it so humongous, and it's great for visuals. It's great for teaching. It's great for, you know, all these things. I was using this deck a lot for various reasons, but really crisp, clean lines. So I was using this a lot. I love that. But I love anything Universal, and the size of this is just, it's really enormous, but it's spectacular. So it could be a little clumsy to actually shuffle, but you get the hang of it. And there's nothing like a humongous deck. And I love everything Universal. So I wanted to show this as kind of like, you know, I showed you my top 5, the Golden Universal, but once I was showing you the Golden Universal, I was like, let me show you the other Universal versions. I'm definitely a Universal lover. If you have to come down to what versions I like, anything Universal is my love, like of the versions. So where did we leave off? So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I went on a tangent to show you Universals. And then we have Akashic Tarot, which stands alone. It's tapping into the Akashic records. You can't go wrong with any Sandra Ann Taylor decks. She also did the Energy Oracle cards, which I love, and several other decks. But the Akashic Tarot I've had for a number of years. It's always on target. You're tapping into the Akashic records. It is not a tarot deck, so I just want to make it clear, like, it's not your typical 78 card tarot deck at all. It's different cards in here, and she goes into quite depth on each one, and it will give you the upright, the reverse, and the Akashic force that's behind the card. This is outrageously good. I can't say enough about this deck. It goes so deep, and it is always on target. It is going so high and gives the overview of what's playing out at the moment. I just found it incredible from the moment I purchased up until this point. So these are the backs of the cards, and they're color coded. You can try, you know, scrolls. You kind of feel like it's work and all of this, but it's much deeper than that. You can't go, you're gonna have to go in the guidebook. You will get more familiar with the cards, but you're still gonna wanna go in the guidebook. I still go in the guidebook. You want the Akashic Force, you want the full description. It's just really beautiful. These are the major arcanas over here in the red, but it is just takes you to another level, and it is so on target. And there's no other deck like it. I can actually say there is no deck like that. I mean, I have a couple of Akashic Records Oracle cards or things like that, but there's nothing like this Akashic Records Tarot, Akashic Tarot, nothing. And it is, it feels like it's tapping into the Akashic Records, and you're getting the whole theme of like what's really going on, what's playing out, what's behind, and then the Akashic Force is just amazing. I mean, the one that we did for August was like power like a waterfall, the divine wind in your sails. Archangel Gabriel came out. You don't forget it. What I'm saying is, it's like that I even remember. It's so impactful. It's so on the money. It's so on target. It's so deep that it's another level. I mean, it is another level. Yeah, so I do those monthly Akashic Records readings on the channel, and usually it ties into other readings that you've done so far, but it takes it even to another level. There's brilliant, you almost go into another world with these cards as well. Really, really beautiful. That's on the cover, the Queen of Scrolls. This is a beautiful deck. I mean, I can't say enough about these decks. Wishes Fulfilled. I mean, we've been getting this card a lot. This Wishes Fulfilled. I have chills. You'll get chills using this deck, usually. Just a warning, a side warning of the Akashic Tarot. Tarot chills may occur. Yeah, I mean, it's really, this is amazing. So, I mean, I've had this a number of years, and this is a consistent deck. I mean, so these are the decks that, when I have a lot of decks, these are the ones that are easy access, I consistently use. They're for my personal readings. These two I use solely for myself. This I share on the channel, do readings with other people, all the other ones. But these two I even save just for myself. So when asked the question, what do you use personally for your own use? Yeah, I mean, these immediately came to mind of all the decks that I have that I immediately use for my own personal use. And then some of them I do share with others or on the channel or do readings with other people. But so far, even these two I've kept just for me. If I have to be honest. And then I'll use all the rest around for, other people and things like that. But so when asked the question, talking about all the tarot decks and which ones do I personally use for myself, doing readings for myself, yeah, I mean, honestly, this was so easy to run around and just pick up the ones that are right what I use. So I just wanted to answer the question and show you. And yeah, so if asked, this is the answer, honest answer. And this has been the deck collection, tarot deck collection of which decks do I personally use the most personally for myself. And this has been it. And I hope no matter what, we're all different. We all have different preferences and everything else. So, but when asked the question, this is my honest answer. So enjoy whatever tarot decks and oracle decks you use, and take care. Bye-bye.